So you've finally ranked up to level 25, and this new area down the elevator hall has opened up for you with 3 figures on podiums. The first one is, well, Woxy, the second one is Sand, and finally the third and last one is
Get down!
All 3 of these bosses are a direct upgrade in difficulty from the 3 game modes you played before, which are basically normal, molten, and fallen. These 3 bastards have their own maps and game modes that directly is either beneficial to them, and also the difficulty on each of these guys is fallen mode, and you cannot make it easier with normal or molten since you're not even given the option to basically change it anyway. So let's go ahead and go check them out.
Number 1.
The first one we're going to fight is... Now, looking at his map environment, you can immediately tell from which game Woxy is referencing. Now, if you're thinking about how hard this game mode is compared to Fallen, let's just say that you need strong units in order to make it past wave 20 at most. The first waves aren't really too big of a deal since they are the same enemies but with animatronic hats, so that's cool, I guess. Also, whenever you eliminate enemy, blood is actually seen right there. Reasons for this is because these game modes have modifiers that change the difficulty and feel of the game, and these cannot be interfered with. When you hit wave 10, that's when shit starts to hit the fan. Why? Well, a literal boss with 300 HP literally spawns, and it is an animatronic scout soldier. Yeah, I don't know why, but yeah. And the best way to beat him is to hope that you and your random teammates have enough DPS troops that have upgrades on them to defeat this guy. Once you kill him, you think that the waves would calm down a bit, but trust me, this only gets harder from here. As you go through waves, you will encounter the enemy spawner dude who spawns pretty healthy skeletons, and the shotgunner animatronic or doll or something, and has 3,500 HP. By then, one of your dudes has to have an accelerator to make this even close to manageable, and if not, then it's best that you leave the game. At wave 30, you will encounter an enemy that is actually the first time you have ever seen them and has to require a new counter in order to eliminate them. Balloon boys, and regular ground troops cannot kill them. However, some troops that have this flying detection feature, so basically upgrading your troops that have that feature seems weird in other games, but in this game mode it is required. Also, flying troops like, for an example, the ace pilot or helicopter can automatically detect them, so that's a good thing. Once you have reached wave 40, you fight the main attraction. He isn't too bad because he only has 250,000 HP, which seems a lot, which it kind of is, but by that time you should have maxed out minigunners, inner units, and a lot of accelerators, so really this bastard isn't not that bad. This guy's abilities are not really too bad. The first one is the jump scare, where he basically jump scares you, and well, all the other units get this ghostly effect on them, so I am thinking that's the decrease of rate of fire, but I don't know, I may be wrong, but I don't know if that's true, and I believe that's all he does. Here's a neat little thing: after you damage this guy a decent amount, his blue parts on his body actually start to fall off, and you can see his exoskeleton, or exoskeleton, whatever you want to call it, and it will basically start to show out of itself. After most of his inner body is shown, he doesn't get angrier, but his neat little feature is that, so I guess that's cool. And then the Furry Lord has been defeated. Also, what I forgot to mention is that these 2 game modes, including this one, gives you a troop reward, aka a brand new tower. This furry gives you the warding. His attack range is very small, however his DPS and basic his damage with his swings is pretty big, and his upgrades only make him stronger for each swing and his faster to hit. Now we travel to the Old Town Road.
Number 4.
From first looks, you think that this map is cool, you know, like there is town buildings and a lot of room, but then you notice that there are 3 coffins on the 3 sides of the map. Right, center, and then it starts to click that there are 3 spots with 3 paths enemies can take, so if you thought the Woxy event was brutal, this one is just as brutal. Whatever enemy spawns in, 2 other duplicates will spawn at the 2 other coffins, so you basically need to defend against 3 times of the same enemies per wave. But there's a nice little thing: each of these paths go first to attack. So the center is the first one to attack since it's a straight shot and your troops will mostly attack them first, and then the left path is basically the right path, and then basically and then the left paths kind of collide with each other once they basically get towards your center, if that makes sense. Also, you have now 3 giant holes of HQ to defend. The center hole is attacked by the center coffin, the left hole is attacked by the right coffin for some reason, and the right hole is attacked by the left coffin, also for some reason. Thankfully, all of these waves are basically the same compared to Fallen, but as in enemies, there will be some that are different looking with enemies with different names, but don't worry, they are the same to Fallen. Once you get to wave 30, the amount of enemies on the map gets fucking ridiculous to where you can't even tell what's going on anymore. This doesn't really help where there's 3 stunning enemies such as the Warden spawn at the exact same time and will stun your troops, and basically that's how it gets to until wave 40. Once you hit wave 40 and you see these minor zombies, but they are like the giant bosses but faster, and the center coffin is the shorter path to where these western soldiers are like gunslingers, personal bodyguards, and then finally Sans. He also spawns in the center coffin, the shortest path, and you need to make sure that your units can eliminate the enemies as fast as possible, because if they don't kill them in time, the Gunslinger will literally be halfway to your base with all 600,000 HP, and there's literally no chance of killing them. Once they are killed, your units have to deal with Sans, and even though he is cool looking, his ability is pretty nice as well. His rate of fire ability, I think that's what it is, has an automatic submachine gun on his back, and it sprays hundreds of shots all around him as he spins around as himself. This guy is ruthless, so troops that can be as handy as the commander, once he is defeated, you will receive a new tower, the Cowboy. This troop does 2 damage per shot with his lucky python, and the cool thing is about him is that every 6 shot he will give the player 25 monies, and upgrading him will also upgrade his money amount as well. But Sans was already a difficult challenge enough, but let's get into the main and final boss.
Number 6.
Then we have... This guy is not easy. In my opinion, he is the hardest boss you will ever face off against until hardcore hits, aka the game mode hardcore. Once you spawn in, this man seems awesome, especially with the path. A huge and long path that enemies have to travel to as like a circle in each of these 4 or 3 of these nuclear things in order to get to your home base. And you're probably thinking, with a long path, this map should be easy, but trust me, you wish that you needed a longer path. The first few waves start off pretty uneventful, you know, just regular enemies or whatever. Then you hit wave 7, and so many of these hazmat dudes appear, and then you start to question your own existence because these guys have 40 HP plus the shields each and have regular speed. Not only that, each wave after, they get a bit more shield HP before their actual HP, and trust me, it only gets even harder from here. At wave 22, a literal boss with 6 fucking thousand HP is introduced, the Almagation. And this guy is not easy. Every 3 to 5 seconds, every time he is damaged, he will spawn little versions of himself, and they take a decent amount of HP to defeat. But not only that, the wave after, another one spawns. Like literally the game creators thought, oh, they did it like they literally killed him in like 20 seconds. Okay, let's just get another one, you know, not really too big of a deal. And a huge tip to basically kill this guy, since I had a lot of problems when basically I started playing this, is to have an accelerator at level 4, aka whatever, like the upgrade or whatever it is, before the 25,000 upgrade, basically, you know, the 10,000 one basically. And against this guy, it only gets even harder from here. You have these green neon fast zombies that can, wait for it, heal enemies when they are dead, and their green goo of like, I don't know, pool or whatever, green goo, whatever it is interacted from their teammates when they walk upon it, and the healing isn't just a small amount. It heals their teammates to a max amount of HP in literally 0.3 seconds. And that also includes, ferociously, the Almagation. Wave 26, these fast electricity zombies, which I'm pretty sure they're called like recoil, whatever they're called, appear, and they get insanely fast, legally possible. When one Electro Boy dies, all the other enemies behind them in a small radius will get shocked by lightning from the sky and get a humongous speed boost. This also obviously includes the Almagation, who can also get this speed boost. Wave 28, these zombies with literal riot shields, which I'm just gonna call them riots since I'm pretty sure you know what I'm referencing, will sprint past and they have a lot of HP, and not to spoil anything or everything, but there is a lot of them, and of course it only gets harder from here, and they obviously can get a huge speed boost from the Electro zombies if they are still around. Wave 30, remember that tank from Fallen Mode? You know, the giant guy with arms so big with huge amount of HP? Well, his older brother is here with 2 heads and is blue, and killing him, aka draining his health to all the way to 0, makes one of the heads on him basically blow up and enrages the other to where he gets back up and after a small tantrum continues to sprint on. Yes, you literally have to kill a dude who has been revived and where he dies and has to continue on forward. And then wave 30 to 39 is pure chaos with spammed elongations and blue and green neon enemies with, of course, the blocky enemies to waste more of your time. Then we hit wave 40, the final boss with Mr. He spawns with 4 of his nuclear guardians with each of 80,000 HP, basically equivalent to a molten titan, so you have to kill 4 molten titans and you have to face off with him, nuclear monster. This absolute massive beast. He will get a pretty good distance because all your troops are focused on the nuclear guardians and the enemies he has spawned. After they are gone, you face the man with a devastating amount of 1,500,000 HP. This guy is scary. You may think that with the rest of this huge map, it should be a piece of cake. I mean, like, he has to go a long way in order to, you know, for him to basically take you down. However, his abilities say otherwise. His first ability allows him to spawn minions that are tank, you know, the blue dude. The slime dudes can literally stun your troops upon death and make little versions of themselves, and much more. His second ability allows him to spew out these blobs of green stuff around him, and any troops that are near those blobs can be stunned, so there's that. His third ability allows him to shoot out a giant green laser like the warning enemy and stun your troops. Yes, that is actually possible. His fourth ability is his screaming fits, to where he screams out and all his troops nearby get this rate of fire effect, which I'm pretty sure is that ghostly effect, I'm not too sure. And then his fourth ability, which I think is this coolest one, where he basically ground slams the ground, doing that, you know, circle of gray smoke, but not once, 3 times all in one slam. Judging from all of his abilities and his own minions, I think you're gonna have a bad time in his world, but upon killing him, you get a badge like all the others, 1,000 coins, and, well, some XP. That's it. And for an extremely hard game mode and some okay rewards, to me, it's just not really too worth it, but I do have to say it is a fight to get it over with, and we'll have to just play every now and again just because of how epic and difficult it is. But anyway, good luck, and I'll see you all in 42 years.